WLW, you got drama in your life. I got some drama for you. Normally, there's things that aren't contentious. Some things are just slam dunks, especially when it comes to politics. Most of it is boring. But yesterday, the Hamilton County Board of Commissioners voted for their new president. Alicia Reece won that 2-0. Wait, what? 2-0. There, wait a minute. Hold on. Alicia, Stephanie Summer-Dumas, and Denise Treehouse. That's 3, not 2. Wait a minute. So where'd the other vote go? Well, there's where the drama comes in. Stephanie Summer-Dumas abstained from the vote of the 3 Democrats. Well, here's what she said, why she was abstaining from the vote for Alicia Reece.
After a year-long experience on this board and after much prayer and reflection, this is the easiest decision that I've ever made all this year to abstain. I looked at what makes a great leader, and a great leader, every voice counts. We provide positive guidance. You lead by example. You're honest. You're transparent. You're humble. You're unselfish. You collaborate. You're compassionate. You're a good listener. You respect the opinions of others. You're not argumentative. And you're a team player. So as I prayed and reflected, I cannot stand and say yes on that motion. With great influence comes great responsibility. And the day, I think I know Martin Luther King said this, and it's appropriate in this month, and I may not say it correctly, but the day we remain silent about the things that matter, our lives begin to end. So there's no way I can sit here and say yes to the new president, because I've experienced lots of things that the people or residents do not even know about.
Alicia Reece joins the show now on 700 WLW. There you heard the audio. And Madam President, welcome to the show. And also, of course, congratulations on your narrow re-election there. You only won by 2 votes. So, Alicia, at what point did you tell Denise to hold you when she was saying that? Did you tell Denise to hold your bag and then you got up and you're going to start throwing? Because she not only dropped God on you, she dropped Dr. King on you.
First of all, Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. What a way to start. New Year's fireworks. I love this stuff. Hold my bag.
We get some excitement. We get some excitement for people keep paying attention to what's going on down in Hamilton County. But no, on a serious note, and it only takes 2 votes. Remember, there's been times when I've remember now on the property tax rebate that I was fighting for to get 30%. Remember now, it was 2 votes that stopped it. And it wasn't me. I was for it. So,
you can abstain as long as you got the majority there and there's a quorum, which you had, that you can do all that stuff, I guess, there too. But and thank God too, because we don't need to have a forced recount, and then you get your votes that go to the commission office there, and they storm it and start smashing through barricades, and there's police. We already done that. We don't need that again. So the peaceful transfer of power.
First thing I would say, the most important vote I got was that over 212,000 people voted for me. And that's one of the highest totals in the history of Hamilton County race. So we had the big vote. This vote, as you know, we've had a rotation of 2 years. I wasn't upset that she didn't vote for me. That was not my issue. My issue was after the vote. We had already taken the vote. We had also all the committees. Every committee that the commissioners wanted to be on and said they wanted to be on, I agreed with it and presented it, and we got it all voted on. Everything was over. And then she went into this. She said afterwards she wanted to say something, and that's when she went into what I thought was personal attacks, because my relationship with God I take very, very serious. And when she mentioned that, that's a problem. And so when you begin to attack my character, now issues is one thing. We can debate, I debate them. But when you start to attack my character, we have a problem. But what is interesting, Sloan, is that our campaign had gotten it was a rumor out, a tip that there would be an attack of me because of a lot of the issues that I stood for the people.
Sure.
And it would come from a commissioner. And I thought, oh, these people are out of line. And then all of a sudden, they said they would use a commissioner in this race to attack me because of some of the things I had been standing for. And then we come in, I'm trying to be optimistic on 2024, and this attack happened. And let me tell you why it happened. The fact that, she's questioning your leadership. Well, she would question my leadership because she wouldn't understand my leadership when I got elected. People elected me to go down there. I told them we're going to shake it up. We're going to open up the process, and we're going to educate people what the county does. And so when I went down there, I did shake it up because, Sloan, as you know, 30%, we were not getting a 30% rebate. Property taxes right now has gone up. People got to pay them next month.
Yep.
They're mad as hell. And we didn't do 30%. Now, when I first got there, I was on your show. We got the word out. We educated people. And I was able to get 30%. You think they were happy about that? He was a fighter against giving the property tax owners a break. The other thing that I've come down, there's $200 million for convention center. You remember I asked the hard questions and everything, and then here comes, Steve Reaper comes in a meeting, bangs the table, jumps in my face, gets all mad. Mm-hmm. Well, they're not happy. And so when $200 million came to the county, she had no ask. I run the meeting. I said, are there any questions? She said, there's no questions. And she said, yeah. But then when there's a question about the homeowners, she got a lot of questions. When there's questions about doing something for inclusion, she has a lot of questions. When there's something for community events or community spending, she has a lot of questions. But when these big issues come in, there are zero questions. So I understand my leadership style is different than her leadership style, and I'm proud of that.
Yeah.
Because my leadership style is I'm fighting for progress, I'm fighting for change, and I'm fighting for open up the process and be totally inclusive. And so even with the veterans, do you remember with the veterans?
Yeah, I'm still working on that one. That's it. That's a huge story. I had you on the show and said, Alicia, you got to come out in front of this, and you came out. And I would say pretty much everything you've done so far, I think, I know personally, I'm like, man, that's smart. It's good. It's good politics. It's you're working for the people, which I don't understand. Honestly, Alicia, the question about your character, I think the other thing, too, is that she's prayerful to God, and generally your relationship with God is personal. You worship as a group, but also you have a personal, hopefully, if you do believe in God, that you have a personal, deeply held religious conviction and belief that may alter somewhat from the person next to you. But regardless, it's a personal, one-on-one relationship you have with God. If that were the case then, and she was praying to God and God alone, how come other people knew she was going to assassinate you yesterday at this meeting?
Yeah, and she had it already typed up and prepared, a prepared statement. After her office had emailed and said that they were okay, we had to send out all the appointments, including the position. Her chief of staff said she was fine with it. But then you come with a setup. And let me just say this. In my campaign, I have a lot of experienced people. That's why they knew about this rumor. We just didn't know when or how.
Right.
And that there was going to be a commissioner. We didn't know how. And I just said, oh, that can't be. But that's what it is. And ever since then, if I come and say the homeowners, the 30%, there's a group that don't want the homeowners to get the 30%.
Mm-hmm.
You get what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And then the other thing, they're mad at me because I did not want to go up on the sewer rate. And they went up on the sewer rate. It was mad because I exposed it. Because usually that's a quiet meeting and you don't find out about it till you get your bill. And then she was upset that I've been on your show educating and telling the people what's getting ready to happen and what has been happening. Because, see, it's been a secret thing down in Hamilton County. You don't even hardly know when they were meeting.
Yeah.
You didn't know what they were talking about.
Yeah.
You didn't find out about nothing until after it was over and you see it in the paper and it's a done deal. And I have been taking on and challenging these people, not for myself, but for what I told the taxpayers I was going to be doing. And so when she came in, I'm going to be really clear with you. I'm very connected. I do believe in God. I've been very connected. I'm a faithful member of my church, mm-hmm. Friendship Baptist Church. And what was so crazy was this was supposed to be a ceremonial thing, and you usually invite, your friends, your family, right. supporters.
Council just did that. City Council just did that last week, and it was it is a call,
yeah. And they didn't have this craziness that he did. But guess what? In the audience were a lot of pastors. And after they were very upset with her. And said she wouldn't, I mean, these were people, who are the pastors. And they said they couldn't believe she would lie on God. And I had prayer before. I pray every day. And that ain't what God told me. So, and then she went with Dr. King. And here I'm the one who was asked to speak at the 50th anniversary of the March on Washington with Dr. King, where Dr. King, not with Dr. King, honoring Dr. King, where he stood and gave his I Have a Dream speech, and it was 250,000 people in Washington, D.C. And then this woman comes and brings
She's dropping Dr. King. She's dropping Dr. King. You think she's racist towards black women?
I don't know. She would have to answer that question. But what I do know is...
I think she doesn't like you because you're a black woman. I think that's what I think she's racist and sexist.
Well, what I can say is that when African-American women, we're not monolithic.
Yeah, right.
And when you come from I come from civil rights. She did not. She might have been around doing civil rights.
Oh.
But I actually grew up and marched for justice and different things. And I think that every time we've had an African American come before the commission, she has always double questioned them, always had an issue. But then I would see the same day we would have like $200 million for convention center, and I would say, any questions?
Mm-hmm.
No questions.
No questions.
And it's a sad situation. I've been at the city, I've been at the state, I've been at this thing a long time.
Yep.
Now it's time to get business done. I've worked with Republicans. I worked with a lot of Republicans when I was at City Hall with Pat Swan, a lot of legislation. I had to work with Republicans at the state. When I was in the minority, I worked with Republican governor. We got a lot of things done. So I'm able to be bipartisan. Now, I can work with all of them, even though we don't agree on everything. But this thing she did, this is low, and we're not going to take the personal attacks. We will deal with issues. But with personal attacks, we have to defend us. So we will.
Are you going to be able to get the business of the people done, despite all this?
Oh, yeah. I've been getting this. What she did has been going on since I got elected. You can go back. Since I've gotten elected, she's been doing these things. She's been nasty. She got up at the Black Music Walk of Fame, just like Black Music Walk of Fame, stormed the stage and grabbed the mic. I was a bigger person. I kept my cool. We had visitors this past. We don't want to embarrass. We had people coming and spending money and coming to Cincinnati that weekend. If you look at her at the meeting, she's always got something there. Always, and I've always been the bigger person. But guess what? I got a 513 relief fund done. I got $1 million for senior citizens done. I did get the 30% my first year, only 1 or 3 times in history, property tax rebate. So I've been getting a lot of things done. It's just a struggle to get it done, and that's why we got to always keep the people knowing when the meetings are coming down when necessary. But I have continued to get. I have gotten stuff done, and I will continue. There's nothing different. Her behavior has always been. It's just the first time it came out like this, and the fact that I had to put a stop to it.
Yeah. Well, and I think that people appreciate you come on this show, and I know you're out in the community and such, Alicia Reece, and the fact that if you look at politics in general, it doesn't move fast. If you look at the state legislature, this marijuana stuff and abortion, and then you look at the federal government and how they can't get out of their own way, it's kind of refreshing to see someone just grabbing the bull by the horns and going, listen, I may fail, but I'm going to try, and I'm going to tell you what I'm doing because I think it's the right thing, and here's my arguments for it. I'll listen to you if you're against it, but I'm going to move forward. You have a focus. And I think people, but especially the voters of Hamilton County, appreciate that about you, Alicia.
Well, I appreciate it. I will be giving the state of the county on February 6th, Tuesday, February 6th, 5:30 p.m. at Memorial Hall. And I invite everybody to come out. We'll be giving a vision and the report, what we've done in Hamilton County, where we need to go, How do we get there? I'll be giving the state of the county on Tuesday, February 6th at Memorial Hall, and I encourage everybody to come down at 5:30. It's completely free.
You gonna throw a little shade, Stephanie? You gonna give her a little some side eye or something?
We don't have time for that. We're too focused.
I like the drama, though. Come on, do something. Get a shot in there. Come on.
Right? We got to move on. We're on to the championship game. We're moving on.
You're like Michigan.
You're like Michigan. Hamilton County to be number one.
I got it. Alicia, I got to roll. All the best. Always love having you on the show, and I'm looking forward to talking to you in the next few years with your second term here.
Thanks, Flo.
Take care. All right, Alicia Reece, Hamilton County Commission President.